Hey y'all from Tennessee. Welcome to the State and Beal podcast. This is the place where we celebrate Tennessee. The volunteer state, the Big Bend state, the hog comedy state. On this show, we love Tennessee from State Street in the northeast corner of the state up in Bristol to Beale Street all the way down to the southwest corner in Memphis. And we do all this, of course, with apologies to Mountain City. My name is Toby Sells. I'm the host, producer, whatever on this show. I'm also the founder and editor of State and Beal. It's an online media hub where I celebrate Tennessee and Tennesseans. Head over to stateandbeal.com to check out the spring issue of our quarterly online magazine. We'll talk about that in just a few here. But while you're over there, drop me your email address, and so you can get a little Tennessee love in your inbox every single week. Later in the show, I talk with James Key. He's a Chattanooga native, now thoroughly embroiled in a white-hot Nashville bluegrass band called East Nash Grass. They have a new record coming out and a new tour that's going to keep them busy all over these United States until October. In our talk, I ask the hard-hitting question, do y'all wear matching outfits? Boom. That's coming up at the back of the show. For now, though, let's take a trip through the spring issue of State and Beal. I'm working on the summer issue right now, but it has been a long spring in Tennessee, so let's enjoy it before they turn the oven up and let the skeeters loose. This magazine is truly for all Tennesseans. I try to make sure that every part of the state is represented in there, from small towns to big cities. We have food, travel, big events, and more. On this segment, I'm going to share a couple of those stories right now. Starting with our county profile series, where we have a look at one of Tennessee's 95 counties. For this issue, now we're going in alphabetical order. We just now got to Benton County. It's over in West Tennessee, that grand division. The county seat is Camden. The population over there as of 2024 was around 16,000. Water defines Benton County. Kentucky Lake and the Tennessee River create its entire eastern border. Nearly half of its western border is the Big Sandy River. And the Duck River meanders through the county, too, before it feeds into the Tennessee. All of this makes Benton County a Tennessee destination for outdoor adventure. There you'll find Nathan Bedford Forest State Park. The Pilot Knob Overlook is in Nathan Bedford Forest State Park. Go to the Overlook on Pine Knob Road, and you'll find the fascinating Tennessee River Folklife Interpretive Center and Museum. The center features the life, ways, and customs of folks on the Tennessee River, including musseling, catching mussels to eat out of the river, crafts, commercial fishing, and more. The centerpiece is an enormous wooden boat used by mussel fishermen on the river. The park is right on Kentucky Lake, and there anglers will find bass in the spring and fall and catfish in the summer and fall. And the park has 3 boat ramps, and there are plenty of marinas nearby for fuel, bait, snacks, souvenirs, and more. There's also disc golf, kayak rentals, swimming at the Eva Beach site, camping, and birding. Hikers can hit more than 20 miles of trails and even stay overnight in 5 backcountry shelters. And cyclists can explore Benton County and the park on a 31-mile out-and-back route put together by Bike Tennessee. That's great. The Birdsong Marina and the Freshwater Pearl Museum. Birdsong is a 58-acre resort in Benton County with a marina right on Kentucky Lake. There's a campground, an RV park, and a pool. All of it brings in around 300,000 visitors each year, and that makes it one of Tennessee's most visited attractions. Birdsong is also home to the Tennessee River Freshwater Pearl Farm and Museum. Washboard mussels in the river produce freshwater pearls, Tennessee's official state gem. The gift shop boasts pearl cufflinks, necklaces, pocket knives, earrings, and more. Plenty there for Tennessee gift ideas. The Patsy Cline Memorial is also in Benton County. In the woods west of Camden stands a somber memorial to one of country music's darkest days. A short trail leads visitors to a memorial marker and an enormous stone. The site is where a plane crash took the lives of 3 Grand Ole Opry stars, Patsy Cline, Cowboy Copas, and Hawkshaw Hawkins in 1963. All right, here's my recipe for a great day in Benton County. Now, I've had a trip to Benton County on my list for a minute. I love country music, so the Patsy Cline Memorial is a must-do for me. But then I'd go play the 9-hole Magic Valley golf course on its gently rolling hills. And then I'd end the day with oysters, a burger, and a beer on the patio of the nearby Beaver Dam Restaurant and Marina. It overlooks the river. I don't know, that place just looks like the right kind of rowdy for me. All right, folks, go visit Benton County. Our next segment here is from our Tennessecrets series, in which we explore the odd, the offbeat, and some out-and-out mysteries about Tennessee. Murder or suicide on the Natchez Trace. This Tennessee mystery may never be solved, and its intrigue is enough to raise eyebrows still, 215 years later. Merriwether Lewis, a namesake of the Lewis and Clark Corps of Discovery, died near Hohenwald in 1809. He was stressed out to the point of state of mental derangement when he arrived there on his way to Washington, D.C. And his life was cut short by 2 bullet wounds, one above the breast and another to the skull. Those are the facts. But was it suicide or murder? His mental state at the time will always draw questions about suicide, but motives from those near him that night draw suspicions for murder, too. President Thomas Jefferson rewarded Lewis's work with the Corps of Discovery by naming him governor of the Northern Territory of Louisiana, which at the time included most of the Louisiana Purchase. But the bureaucracy of the job proved difficult for the military man and explorer. He found himself legally responsible for the area's finances and struggled under its great debt. Lewis left St. Louis for Washington to iron out the situation, choosing a Mississippi River route to New Orleans to begin the journey and the remainder of it by sea voyage. Exhausted by heat and fearing his personal papers could fall into the hands of the British, Lewis changed his mind at Memphis, deciding to complete the rest of the journey on land across Tennessee and Virginia. Along the way, he stopped for a night at Grinder's Stand, a house near present-day Hohenwald. The consensus of those at the house and those traveling with Lewis was that worries of his debts had overtaken him and left him deranged, as many explained the situation in letters. Priscilla Grinder feared for her guest and stayed awake to listen as Lewis paced the floor and was talking aloud, she said, like a lawyer. She then heard the report of a pistol and something fall heavily on the floor, and the words, "Oh, Lord." That was according to her account presented by the Lewis County Museum. She said, immediately afterwards, she heard another pistol, and in a few minutes she heard him at her door calling out, "Oh, madam, give me some water and heal my wounds. Oh, madam." She watched Lewis fall upon a stump in the yard, but somehow drag himself back to his room. He survived for a time, but was dead by morning. But really, Priscilla's husband waited until the wee hours to kill Lewis for money. Okay, now that's one theory. Or it was James Pernier, Lewis's servant, that killed him for the $240 he was owed. Or Natchez Trace bandits killed Lewis. Or James Wilkinson, the previous governor of the Louisiana Territory, killed Lewis. Wilkinson did it to cover up his involvement in Aaron Burr's conspiracy to break the Natchez Trace territories from the United States. In 1848, a Tennessee State Commission exhumed Lewis's body. They wanted to ensure that it was indeed him before they built a memorial to him on the site. That report found that he was most likely killed by an assassin. The memorial that stands there today was finished in 2009. Its towering but broken shaft represents a life cut short. All right, now let's get to our conversation with James Key. He plays guitar and sings in East Nash Grass. The band is phenomenal. If you listen to bluegrass, folk, or country, look them up on your favorite streaming service and give them a spin. It'll be worth your time. That's a Tennessee guarantee. The members of East Nash Grass have played with the bluegrass elite, including Rhonda Vincent, Tim O'Brien, and Dan Tominski, who you might remember sang for George Clooney's character in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou on all the songs, and there was a lot of songs. Last year, East Nash Grass won Best New Artist from the International Bluegrass Music Association. But well before that, the band came together at Dee's Country Cocktail Lounge in Madison, which is just east of Nashville. There, they did a 7-year residency on Monday nights, honing the band's sound and developing a one-of-a-kind live show. Anyhow, let's get to our talk with James Key. James Key, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate you having me on, Toby.
Absolutely. Well, I know y'all have a lot going on. Thanks for taking some time to get with us here. I've been getting familiar with what y'all, East Nash Grass, your music over the last couple of days here. If somebody's never heard the band before, describe your sound.
Well, we're definitely traditional bluegrass, but I think we have maybe a newer edge to what we do. We're still within the confines of, whatever you would call bluegrass, I guess. But we're all lifelong bluegrassers trying to pay homage to the old stuff and then also create something new. It's a little different.
Yeah, and I saw on your website that the bluegrass situation called y'all bluegrass delinquents. Does that sound about right?
Sure. I love that. And that's probably just, we have a little bit of irreverence sometimes, mixed in with the respect for the music.
Yeah, and I'll say what I've been listening to. What is it? Gamblers and Railroaders. Is that the name of the song?
Railroading and gambling. Yeah.
That's a barn burner, man. I love blues music, and I love it when it's kind of at that breakneck speed like that. It's boy, it's so good.
Yeah, and that's classic Tennessee native Uncle Dave making.
Yeah, the old Dixie Dewdrop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to MTSU, and Uncle Dave's from down there, so we'd go to Uncle Dave Macon days down there. I saw Old Crow Medicine Show play in the parking lot of Uncle Dave days one day, and it was pretty incredible. Tells you how long I've been at MTSU, I guess. But
I might have been there because I saw them as well down there. I went to that when I was a kid. I'm from Chattanooga, so
cool.
Nearby.
Very cool. So native Tennessean. Y'all got the IBMA new Artist of the Year award last year. What was that like?
I've never put a whole lot of stock in awards. But that being said, I was quite an honor to get it. I had never been eligible for that myself. And some of my other band members are highly awarded and have been for, quite some time. And I think to have respect of your peers is certainly really wonderful. And that's what that one feels like to us. I'm still always shocked when anything like that happens. So I was a little bit surprised in the very best way and honored as well. And the award seems to be preceding us. So, I've been a member of IBMA for many years. And I guess when I say I don't put a lot of stock in awards, what I mean by that is that I do put a lot of belief into organizations. And so I've been a member for a long time, a member of the National Musicians Union as well. And so that was kind of where I always put my focus. And so to get some attention on the award side of things felt really nice.
Yeah. And you got a new group, but read your website. The members have been around forever playing with huge artists like Rhonda Vincent, Tim O'Brien, and Dan Tominski. I mean, it's kind of a super group.
Well, thanks. Everybody's got a lot of experience in it, and when we've been at it our whole lives, so that kind of gave us that, I guess, proving grounds that we all worked, as lifelong bluegrassers. But yeah, certainly it's a lot of fun. One of the things that's really entertaining in this band is that everybody gets to make their own music, whereas we've all been part of a lot of different groups as maybe a sideman. And there's nothing wrong with that, of course, and we all still play that role from time to time doing different things. But there's something special about being able to make your own music and say whatever you want to musically, or in our case, even on stage, say whatever comes to mind.
Yeah. And I heard those shows are a little rowdy. I want to get to that in a minute. How did the group come together?
We started playing at a little bar here in Nashville called Dee's Lounge on Monday nights. And Dee's is kind of turned into a little unlikely hot spot for music. It's really just a triple wide trailer over in Madison, which is, it's kind of East Nashville. Once you're across Riley Parkway from Inglewood into Madison, you're technically not in East Nashville anymore, I guess. But very, very close. And so these kind of became a home for a lot of different folks like us. And we started playing there every Monday from 6 to 8. We realized that was a really great musicians hang. Musicians are off on Mondays a lot of times because we're working. The majority of us are working the weekends. So it was great to be able to have this little, community gathering that it really turned into. I didn't forecast that initially when we started playing there in 2017, but that's kind of what it turned into. And we recognized that pretty quick. We realized within a few months of doing it that we were getting to meet some folks that we really wouldn't get to meet. If you ever been to Nashville, which I'm sure you have, on the weekends, it turned into a completely different town.
Sure.
I don't even go out if I can help it on the weekends, as do most folks, So that was kind of what got the start for us. And we were just very consistently there every Monday for almost 7 years.
Wow.
And they're still doing bluegrass each and every Monday. There's different folks that have been taking it on, kind of carrying the torch, because it's a lot to do any residency, but especially one for as many years as we did it.
Tell me about you have a new single out. I just listened to that on Spotify, and a new album coming out in August. Tell me about those.
We do. We have a couple new singles out because we have one called Following You that came out in May. And then we have another one that it comes out today or last night called Bend in the Road. That's June 10th. I don't know if it matters that I'm saying that. I'm not sure when you air this podcast, but
this week anyway.
Yeah, June 10th is the release date on that one. And the whole album comes out August 22nd. So each 6 weeks or so, there's going to be some more singles coming out. I think there's maybe 2 more before the album release date, which is coming right up. The album was recorded last year. We did it last year. So we were excited to go ahead and get this out. It's our first new music out in like 2 years. Our second album, which is called Last Chance to Win, came out in August 23. So we're right at 2 years from release date to release date. So it seemed fitting. We're pretty excited about it. There's a lot of new music on here, some stuff that we writ, some other stuff that's written by friends of ours. And then there's of course a couple bluegrass classics and some kind of traditional music classics in there that maybe not a whole lot of folks have heard. So we're excited to get new tunes out.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear it. And you're going to go out on the road to support the new record. I was looking, this thing's taking you from, you'll be playing Memphis right here in good old Memphis down at the Overland Park Shell, which is a free show, part of the Orion Summer Concert Series. But then you head from Memphis to the Midwest, to the East Coast, then back again, and you're going until about October. That's a big tour.
Yeah, and that's just what's announced. There's more. We're going to be really busy in November as well, and with some dates that are announcing as well. We'll be up in the Northeast on that run. We've been to the Northeast once already this year. We went to Washington early at the beginning of the year. We will go out west, as you mentioned. If folks have never seen us, we're emerging into a lot of new markets this year. We've already been all over since we started touring in late January, and we'll be the same all the way until the end of November or so. So yeah, very, very busy season for us.
Yeah, incredible. And I was reading, we were talking earlier about your shows maybe getting a little rowdy. You can say whatever you want on stage. What's your show like?
Well, we just, for me, bluegrass sometimes can get a little stuffy. The live show, especially, we all love bluegrass, and there's a lot of respect and reverence for the way that it's got to be played and so forth. And some bands, to me, particularly traditional ones, have made the shows a little bit unwatchable to me. Most people are going to see music to have a good time.
Yeah.
And I get it that everybody's brand of music, people listen to music different ways and, may take it more serious than others. But I don't know, we just kind of started joking around at that some over the years, and it kind of became this persona of ours for having some things that are maybe a little bit bizarro, and some of that came from playing at D's, especially in the early days of saying things on stage to see who's paying attention.
Yeah.
I think every band that's played in a bar can relate to that. And, even if somebody's not sitting Indian style on the floor, they still may be paying attention, and everybody can listen to music in different ways and enjoy it in different ways. And so that's kind of what we always wanted to do, was try to make the show fun and engaging for the audience, but also just different. What we're doing can get pigeonholed playing bluegrass can easily get pigeonholed where you're doing the same stuff that everybody else has done for so many times. So you've got to do something different. And so our thought was, even if the music is not entirely different than most traditional bluegrass, at least the show can be something different, a different experience. And it's different audiences react different ways to it, and we try to play to the audience wherever we are, and we just try to make it fun and just try to have a good time with whatever we're doing, because that to me is like we're musicians first, but also entertainers, and so I think it's important to try to provide a good show wherever you are.
So y'all aren't don't have the same suits on, the same bolo ties. I'm guessing.
Sometimes, I mean, when we did the Opry for the first time, we wore matching
Yeah.
suits, and same
Cool.
for the Ryman. So every now and then we will coordinate some dress, but in general, it's just we like the stage show to have some unpredictability. That's
Fun.
not just not just musically.
Yeah, and I saw y'all are heading back to the Ryman too. That's got to be a heck of an experience there. I was looking at your merch, and your logo's got sheep on there. What's that about?
Well, there's a grass element to our show. Everybody loves the logo, and I think it just kind of tied in with the grass, and then it
Okay.
kind of became part of our branding. And we used to talk a lot about Corey owning sheep and being a sheep farmer. And he's not actually, but it was still something that we talked about a lot. And I think that's kind of where that was born. But it's mostly just kind of, we're trying to keep the show grassy, and the lamb was designed by my friend Heather Mulder, who's a great designer and printer. She's actually native of Woodbury, Tennessee, and worked for Hat Show Print for a really long time.
Yeah.
She's a very accomplished designer. In fact, last year she got, we don't talk about her enough, so that's why I mentioned, but last year she got one of her designs on a U.S. postage stamp. Yeah. There's a bluegrass postage stamp that actually was designed by Heather, who made our logo. So when we were asking her to do that, we wanted it to be something that we could brand. And so we wanted it to be kind of part of the band. So the bluegrass and grass element tied in. And also the lamb seems a little bit mischievous. There was some kind of early 20th century cartoon aspect about it that I really liked, and seems to resonate well with people.
Before I let you go, how's East Nashville these days? It's been a minute. We still have a lot of friends live over in Inglewood, and we go see them maybe once or twice a year. Friends have moved to Hendersonville from East Nashville. What's the vibe over there these days?
Well, most of us actually live east of East Nashville. I first moved to East Nashville when I moved to town about almost 8.5 years ago, something like that. And I don't know, man, I think I was priced out of East Nashville. So I ended up over here in the suburbs. I live in Old Hickory.
Nice.
So still in Davidson County proper, not very far from East Nashville. There's a farmer's market every Tuesday. Would recommend that. I mean, I think it's still got a lot of its cool elements, that made it what it is. It's still thriving, and it's where we got our name. But there's a shift east of East Nashville, and I think that's just due to the sheer real estate prices. That's kind of how D's came to be.
Yeah.
There was no hang in Madison, which was this bedroom community. And Madison was home to a lot of stars. There was a lot of folks that lived in Madison. Hank Snow, the Scruggs family lived over there. John Hartford.
What?
Yeah, they all lived in Madison right there.
Wow.
So that was kind of why it made sense for us to hang our hat there. Corey lives in Madison, and Maddie and Harry live in Old Hickory, just about a mile down the road from me. We're over here pretty close to the lake.
Cool.
And so I think it's still hopping, but I don't go as much as I did when I lived there.
Yeah. And, I lived in Nashville 20 years ago, and it's completely transformed. I barely recognize it anymore. But anyhow, James Key, I'm going to let you go. I know you got things to do. But folks, check out East Nash Grass. You can find them online. You can find their music on Spotify and almost anywhere you're going to find music. I know Apple has their music also. They got a new record coming up. Look for that. They're starting a big new tour right here in Memphis. Kicks off on Friday over at the Overton Park Shell. But James Key, thanks so much. You've been a great hang, and good luck out there.
Thanks, Toby. I appreciate it. And the Overton Park Shell is an actual shell, correct?
Yes. And
so it's like a stage shell.
It is, and you'll see it's kind of, a big half dome almost.
Yeah.
Walk out there. It's the same stage that Elvis performed on way back in the day, but they've had some money that's been pumped into it. And they've got incredible sound gear out there, AV gear.
Great.
People are going to show up. People in you don't think Memphis and bluegrass, but people love it down here. So hopefully you'll have a big crowd. If nothing else, I'll see you out there.
Thanks so much. We're looking forward to it, Toby. Thank you.
All right, man. Take care. All right, well, that'll do it for this episode here. Thank you all so much for listening. We'll see you right back here in Tennessee really soon for some more State and Beal. State and Beal was written, produced, and everything else by me, Toby Sells. Our spring issue is on the digital newsstands right now. So head on over there and check it out and subscribe. And again, I'll give your inbox a little Tennessee glow up every week, and make sure you don't miss out on our next issue, the summer issue coming up at the end of the month here in June. And if you'd ever want to advertise with us or sponsor this podcast, in the meantime, I'd love to talk to you. Hit me up at Toby@stateandbeal.com. All right, thank y'all so much.